Hey everyone, it is Caslow, and I thought we'd do something special for the release of patch 7.3 and take a look at what ChatGPT thinks the next Final Fantasy XIV expansion will be. So, let's take a look. I put my prompt in as, based upon the main story quest of Final Fantasy XIV, through the Dawn Trail expansion, including up to patch 7.3, predict the location and story for the next major expansion of Final Fantasy XIV. Include in your prediction known non-playable characters that will be relevant for the expansion story, as well as predicting 2 new playable classes to release with the expansion. So let's see how crazy ChatGPT got on this. Predicted expansion time. Final Fantasy XIV Ebon Oath. And its predicted setting looks to be the Void, the 13th Shard Reclaimed, and the Mirror City of the Southern Continent. So we're going 2 completely different places. Patch 7.3 hints at further incursions into the Void, building upon the groundwork laid in Endwalker and the 13th storyline. Especially the Zero arc and the Alliance raid Myths of the Realm, closing thematic doors. I don't know how 7.3 is hinting at incursions into the Void. The only thing we have is that we've got our little hourglass dimension traveler device. Simultaneously, references to Mirror City have increased, especially concerning Midgardsormr, the Warring Triad, and Allegan history. Thematically, Mirror City offers a rich, unexplored land steeped in dragonkin lore, ancient magical civilizations, and unresolved threads from 1.0 and Heavensward. Which all that's true. We've been wanting to go to Mirror City for a while. It's our little idol in Australia that we can go visit. And so a lot of us have been really excited for that. We didn't know much about the New World, but we knew kind of those were the 2 places we could go, was either the New World, which ended up being Dawn Trail, or Mirror City. Alright, core story themes. Restoration and redemption, rebuilding what was lost in the Void, and finding a new hope for its people. Divinity and mortality, exploring true gods beyond the fabricated myths of the 12, hinted at in the final raid tiers and Vanna's teachings. I have no clue what that's really getting to. Legacy of the Ancients, tying the ruins of Mirror City and the remnants of ancient magic to the fate of the Sundered Shards and the future of the star. Yeah, that's kind of everything that we were expecting kind of after Endwalker, is we've still got all these shards out here, and we definitely have a Zen's magic and probably want to explore some of the magics that the ancients had as well. Oh, I scrolled a little bit too far. Alright, after the events in Tyrol, the Warrior of Light receives a summons from Vitra and Azdaia. With Azdaia restored and the 13th beginning to heal, a strange signal is detected. The convergence of void energies and dragon aether, originating from the far south. In Mirror City, remnants of Allegan experiments and void-sent incursions during the Third Astral Era have festered, and the awakening of a primordial being, perhaps a surviving true god of the ancients. I don't think the ancients had any true gods. They created Zodiark and Eidolon. Threatens to destabilize the balance between life and death across all shards. A surviving faction of Voidsent seeks to use this being's power to fully escape the constraints of their broken world. The Scions reunite to investigate, venturing into a land where dragons rule vast desert wastes and ancient buried cities, hint at civilizations that rivaled Amarant. Oh, so we're going to have, like, major civilizations going on in Mysteria, beyond what we probably knew. Maybe something more ancient that was uncovered. But I mean, I really like this idea of, like, the Voidsent starting to come in through Mirror City, and that's what draws us there, and it ties the 13th and Mirror City together for an expansion. Alright, key returning characters. We've got Zero, who central to the Void, obviously, and identity themes, acts as an emotional anchor for the 13th. Vitra ties to both Mirror City and the Void, seeks answers about his kind's origins. They came from space. That was their origins. We already know that. Estinian rejoins due to the dragon connection, deepening his relationship with Vitra and Midgardsormr's legacy. Stola, scholar of the life stream and shards. Her research into ancient Aether aligns with the core plot. Oriange returns from his sabbatical to offer insight into the original faith systems and true gods of Aetheris. That's actually a pretty good reason for Oriange to join us. Fortunat Leviar represents Charlian interest in understanding and preserving the knowledge of the ancients. Midgard Sarmer, via spirit or vision. His ancient memories serve as a key to unlocking Miracidia's truth. I don't know how much Midgard Sarmer actually knew about Miracidia other than like Bahamut and Vitra and all of them went down there. Ashdaya, now restored, serves as a key figure in the Void's transformation and a guide to Void-related zones. Okay, that one doesn't make sense to me, but okay. Likely new hub cities. Wow, they even gave us new hub cities. I did not expect that. Veilthrax, a reclaimed Void city, now partially restored, featuring Gothic astral architecture and a somber mood. Then Zotara, capital of Miracidia, mixing desert citadel design with dragon and Allegan influences. I mean, that'd be cool to have a city in the Void that would be an actual, like, hub. I don't know if these names came from anywhere. I'm gonna have to probably ask some people to look at this video and just compare to what we know for naming conventions for both the Void and Miracidia. Alright, new playable jobs. The Mystic, a caster DPS. Don't think we're getting a caster DPS, ChatGPT. We just got one. A spiritual successor to Geomancer, drawing Aether from ley lines and natural forces. Rotates between elemental stances, earth, water, and wind, for different utility and damage use. Heavily emphasis on AoE burst and mobility. Okay, we don't really have a big burst AoE class, really, outside of... I mean, there's a few, but like it's not a feature of the job. Alright, the other one. Phantom Blade, a melee DPS or a tank hybrid. Wields dual ethereal sabers and can phase briefly to avoid damage. Okay, that sounds cool. We already have a dual saber class, though, kind of with Viper, so don't know how much that would actually be useful. Based on Void combat styles, taught by remnants of noble warriors from the 13th. That is really cool. If we could get a class from another shard, like they would come across some sort of jobstone and can work and build through that throughout the and kind of enhance on it because we're more dense etherically than the shards. That'd be really cool to really look into. Mechanics involve phantom echoes, past life visions granting unique skills. Think of a combo system that calls upon echoes of previous great warriors. Like, would it just be like a ghost-like figure behind us as we're performing certain moves? Because that sounds a lot like what we already have in Reaper. Alright, release timeline projections. FanFest announcement would be at Tokyo this time in early 2026. Patch 7.5, the final epilogue teaser cutscene, would happen in fall 2026. That's quite a big leap, okay. And then expansion release 8.0 in summer 2027. Possibly June, July. I need to look at the release calendar. I think that's way too long. I think it's going to release sometime in 2026. Most likely the fall of 2026 is when I would actually expect the expansion to release, or very, very, very early 2027. Optional systems predictions. Echo Archives, a new type of duty where players relive historical battles in the Void and Miracidia through the eyes of other characters. I mean, that would be cool if we had like a duty system where we could select different characters and go play as them for like the dungeon. Like, I've liked the Echo battles we've had for just individual instances, but think if you could create like your own like super team of other characters in the story and not the main story character. Not your playable character. That'd actually be a really cool system. Player housing in the void, Gothic ethereal style district opens in patch 8.2. I don't think we're putting player housing in the void. That is way too big of a spoiler. I've made the argument that we should have Crystarium housing, because I think it can be done where we just leave it a little bit ambiguous about where it's at, and you don't have to put the light in the sky until they actually get to the Shadowbringers expansion. But the void, ooh, that's a completely different animal. New trust NPCs, 0 Ashdaya. I don't know how Ashdaya could be a trust NPC as a dragon. Astinian's already a trust NPC. And a new Miracidian character. Alright, that is an interesting way to go about it, is that the Void is kind of some group from the Void that Zero's been fighting against, tries to incur into the source and comes through Miracidia. We've already got all the stuff that we're going to want to go check out. I like that for like a premise to start off this new expansion. Some of the stuff, like the jobs they came up with, I don't know. That's a little out there and doesn't really make sense, but I didn't expect ChatGPT to make any sense. But before we go, I am going to ask it for a little bit of some concept art. So I'm going to put that on the screen here in a second after I do my outro, and you all can check out and see what ChatGPT thinks this, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put it throughout the video at times. So you can, all that concept art that's been popping up that is very, very AI probably, that is what they took this from and made concept art for. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to do. I think we might do this in the future for other stuff. Just to see how silly ChatGPT is and see if it actually comes up with something that actually happens, because that would be amazing as well. But thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all next time. Take care.